and type GMEB TV. Open the channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from in-depth coverage of education, business insights, to the latest in sports. We bring you the stories that matters. Welcome to GMEB TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. Open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type GMEB TV. Open the channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Coming to you live from our studio here in Banjulinding with me, your host Ramatoulie Jatta. And today, our guest for today is Hassan, Mr. Hassan Bojang. So without any further ado, let's give Hassan the mic to introduce himself to us.
Thank you so much. Like you rightly said, my name is Hassan Bojang. I am a teacher by profession and equally a presenter. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for having me in the studio today.
Thank you so much, Hassan, for being here. I mean, he's always somehow busy, but then he managed to make it today. So we're thanking Hassan. We thank you so much. But today our theme here is bridging the gap for sustainable future because Hassan is so much into education, and we're gonna focus on that. So number one, Hassan, how do you think access to quality education can influence youth employability and career growth?
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful question. I just want to take a step back to engage with the people, the viewers, on what actually we are discussing here today, and that is trying to empower the youths. When we talk about empowering the youths, it's a process through which we encourage the younger people to take charge of their life. And when you talk about education, how can education influence our younger children? It can influence them in different ways. When we talk about education, we talk about quality education here. The quality education gives you the requisite knowledge that you need to be able to take any leadership role in the community. So education is pivotal here.
Thank you so much, viewers. That was good. And yeah, education actually is the starting point of everything, I would say. Either a child or an adult, education is needed in anything that we do. So, what role do you actually think students and associations, like what youth associations and students actually play, the role that they play in preparing other people for the workforce, like for other youths, because we know people in the country here who are so much into youth empowerment. They are there, they have their own foundations, for example, trying to help out youths. But how can other students or that are in the college, for example, or even in UTG, let's say, pave way for others?
Thank you for that question. You see, sometimes it is very important when you see yourself in certain positions to reflect back and also look around the environment to see those that are not privileged to be where you are. So if you are lucky to be at the college, you are lucky to be at the university, I think what you need to be thinking about is what can I do to make sure I influence the others out there that are not opportune to be where I am today. So I believe as a youth, especially at the college, it is very good for us to be dynamic in different ways. Ways like being an entrepreneur, trying to bring up the youths in different life skills to make sure they engage themselves. I think that is very much important. Yeah. So as a youth, especially a student at the college, you can influence youths that are coming up in different ways. One of which is try to help them to be able to come up with a skill, and that is through entrepreneurship. Equally, the government too, and the parastatals and the individuals that are well off can also help. And this is by empowering them in these technical and vocational centers. They can be taken there to acquire a skill so that they can, be independent in their own life. That is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan Bojang. That was really brief and nice. So yeah, associations. Because I know even the college they have a student association, at the university the same. So I mean those associations actually pave way for students because they organize activities, curricular activities where students will partake, and that too can make them build that confidence and know that this kind of skill is for me. Like I can do this skill, so why not adventure into it? Aside from education itself, so this one is a bit, let's say, should I say personal? But it's fine. It's about a personal experience. What experience can you share that inspired you to be either a youth employee, like in youth employment aspect, or skill development?
Yeah, thank you so much. The personal experience I have, I will take it, in the olden days when I was very young. My father used to be a masoner, and he used to be a carpenter for that matter. So when you give him a house to build, he can build a house from scratch, plaster it, fix the doors, roof it, and give you the key. So that inspired me a lot. So I started looking up to him, and I decided to, at least when he was gone. Unfortunately, before I could be a professional in the area he passed on. But I never relent. I equally take it up upon myself to venture into it, though I didn't take it as a profession finally, but I decided to take education as an opportunity. But when I was in education too, one thing I did was to talk to the young people, especially those who were not opportune to go to school, either financial muscle or let's say they don't actually want to go to school. So one thing I always inculcate in them is that education is not the only way. There are only ways that you can also succeed, and that is to take up a skill. So that is an experience I want to share with the young people there, that if you believe that you don't have that patience to go to school, and you think education is not your way, equally, I just want to let them know that education is also not the only way. Yeah, they can take up other skills out there, like masonry, carpentry, plumbing, and so on. Um, Tailoring and so on, they can make a living out of it. So let them not relent to, take up challenges out there. I think as a youth, you should be ready to take challenges. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hassan. Yeah, education is not the only solution. Sometimes skills, in fact, do better at some point because when you know how to do a skill, though sometimes it's not easy, but at times you fail exams, so you might be discouraged. But a skill that you've learned, you do it every day. It becomes a part of you. Like what we learn becomes a part of us. So yeah, education is not the only way. You can also venture into skills and then make a better life. So, Hassan, I'm saying Al Hassan, so it's fine. So, we know that like in life we encounter challenges here and there. We, it's part of life. It's the ups and downs are part of life. So, but what challenges do you think youths, when seeking for employment, encounter, and what are some of the solutions that you would recommend for them?
Thank you so much. Like I said here earlier on, sometimes the solution lies in our own hands. If you find it very difficult to get an employment from people, create employment for yourself. I think that is the best way. How can we create employment for ourselves is to think critically and be entrepreneurs in our own ways. I will take reference from one of our youth in my village where I stay right now, that is Faratu Bojang. Uh, yes, I will mention the name, Mr. Sedikan. He once embarked on the Bagway journey for the fact that he thought I was the only solution, and unfortunately, he could not make it to his destination. When he came back, he decided to think back, sit back, think, and say, come up with a skill. And he came up with his own enterprise called Sedikan's Decoration. And it is right now capturing the hearts and minds of not only Gambians, but in fact, I think some time ago, was it BBC even came to interview him, simply because of how he's able to come up with that initiative. and how he's able to draw a lot of youths towards him, and he's training them in renewing the materials that we have around us that we think they are not usable. So I think I will take reference from him that you should not think that education is the only way, and you have to rely on people to employ you. Yeah, if there is no employment from people, create employment for yourself. That is very important.
Thank you. I think it's good to be your own boss. It's more enjoyable because you don't have to work for anybody. It's your business and you're doing it on your own. So I think it's really, really important. Taking up your own, like standing up for yourself, building your own career path. I think it's really, really important. You don't have to wait for someone, or you don't have to be working for someone tirelessly and then, not getting what you want. But your own thing, I mean, you're going to be your own boss. So that's really, really important, Hassan. Thank you. So now, how do you think young leaders that are into education and employment-related fields, like how can they inspire others to take initiatives and address unemployment? Because we know in the Gambia here, I mean, the reason why people, in fact, embark on this backward journey is because they believe there's no employment here. Like, they can't find anything sustainable for themselves. And then they will be like, I should go look for a greener pasture. And then sometimes we tend to lose our brothers there, which is very sad. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that question. I think leaders, especially the young leaders that are coming up, they have a great role to play here. Because generally in Africa, people always blame the leadership. Yeah, people always blame the leadership. And if you are opportune to be a leader, one key aspect that you can use to make sure you capture the hearts and the minds of the young is to be truthful. You have to be a truthful leader. Truthfulness is very important. You have to be a just leader, and not only that, but you have to create an environment that is receptive for the youth. You have to be a mentor, and you have to create guidance and counseling platforms for them, where they will all be gathered, make decisions, and speak out their voice. Let their voices be heard. Once they feel like they are important in a particular setting, they will always take ownership. And once they take ownership, they will want to be part of the leadership. And once they are part of the leadership, they will be able to effect change. So that is very important. But it all has to come from the leaders. So that is why if you are young and you are privileged to be a leader, you don't have to joke with such positions. You have to be truthful, you have to be just, and you have to create environment, you have to create a family sort of for the youths where they can all gather, speak out, make decisions together, and then their decisions will help them to be able to take up leadership roles. Because whatever decisions you make, whatever policies you come up with, you'll take ownership. And then if you take ownership, you'll want to implement them in the best of ways. So I think leaders should look into this so that the younger generation that are coming up and they are scared away from taking leadership roles will in fact see leadership as an easy thing to take up. So I think that is just what I want to elaborate more on.
Thank you so much, Hassan. Being a leader is actually not easy. I mean, it's not an easy task, but just as you said, being truthful, being fair, and just. I mean, people would love to be under you because they know you are a leader of your words. You say what you do what you say, or you say what you do. So it's really, really important. And I think with that, if young leaders are also involved, even in a matter of, let's say, decision making for the whole country. I mean, they will feel involved. They'll be like, they will, as you said, ownership. They'll take ownership of it, and then even accountability as well, because they know they are part and parcel of that decision that they've made. So yeah, that's really, really important. So now, like, how can we encourage young people, to embrace entrepreneurship? Because we've talked about it, like being your own boss. Like, how do we encourage young people to embrace entrepreneurship as a means of creating job opportunities? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think this is a very important question. Personally, this is my interest. This is my interest area. Uh, Creating an environment that is receptive for the youth is very key. And leading them to their profession or career jobs or dream jobs is also another thing. That is why personally, I mentioned here earlier that I'm a presenter. Yeah, that is why the largest area I concentrate is on the youth. Yeah, The largest area I concentrate is on the youths. For the fact that catch them young is real. If you want to make so you create, if you want to have a brighter future for a country, you have to invest more in the youth. So that is why, as a teacher and a parent or a mentor, you have to know the children you are dealing with. You have to establish dialogue with them. Dialogue is very important. I will center on the teachers. They have to be friends to the students they teach. They have to be parents to the students they teach. They have to initiate effective dialogue with the students they teach. This is key because the students will confide in them. And then now, another very important thing is to ask the children what they want to do after school. Now, this question is very important. You will realize that most of the students do not even know what they want to be. This is from experience. I run a platform called the Students Hour on Paradise TV. Every Saturday, I interact with students from all over the country. To my surprise, sometimes I used to have even college students, sometimes even university students, sometimes grade 12 students, fresh graduates. I used to ask them this question: what do you want to be now that you are about to finish school? They will be like, when I take my certificate results, I will now decide. So that normally strikes me a lot. And equally, through that dialogue, I realized that most of the students at the college is by accident choosing the teaching field. Most of the students studying medicine sometimes is by accident. Some of the fields some of the students are studying at the university is because of peer influence. They see their friends study it and they feel like, okay, I like the name, so I just want to go and study it. That's all. So we need to make sure we study our kids to know what they are good in. You cannot want to be a medical doctor if you are afraid of blood. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot be a teacher if you are not, if you don't talk in public, or you are that, some introvert sort of. If you are an introvert, it becomes very difficult for you to excel in the teaching field. So we have to make sure we observe our kids, guide them in the right way, so that they will be able to get to the right professions they desire. And then when they are at their right professions, like they say, putting a round peg in a round hole always is not proper. So this is what I have observed, and I think both parents and the teachers, especially the teachers that are directly dealing with the students every day, Monday to Friday, they need to be very observant in this area so that they will be able to proper guide the cream of this country. I always call the nucleus of this country, because if that is misguided, it means we are in trouble.
Thank you so much. And that's really, really important because just as you mentioned, some students will be like, I don't know yet, unless I receive my result. Then I will decide like which field am I even going to study at the university and all that. So actually that will bring us to the next question, which will be, it's actually they are similar. So like what support can the parents or the family or the community at large give to students or young leaders, or let's say youths in general, in skills that they can instill in them that will be fit for the job market?
Thank you. Thank you so much. The support is very important here. As a family, you need to offer love to your sibling, either, okay, let's say your children. Father, mother, offer love to your children. You have to prove to them that you love them, you show them that you love them, you care for their future. That is very important. Second, like I said, establish dialogue with them to know what field they want to study and why they want to study that field. That is very important. The other support the children might need is to feel the presence of their parents and their loved ones in anything they do in their life. You understand? For example, he or she is having a competition somewhere, and then you as a parent decided to go and be beside him. That is a support that goes a long way because they add extra effort. Yeah, they add extra effort. And as a teacher, um,
the students you are teaching, they need your guidance. You see, that is why under education we have guidance and counseling. The reason why that course was introduced is to equip the teachers so that they will be able to know how to guide and how to counsel the students they are teaching. How you guide them is very important. You guide them to the right path. You don't force them. You understand? So you just pave a way for them. You give them multiple options to choose from. Perhaps you can even have a career day, whereas you can tell them, okay, this career, this is its benefits, this its expectations, and this is where you might be working if you choose this career, and that this is the reward. So no, the children will be able to see, analyze, and choose the one they want to go to. But you also, the reason why you are the one in charge there supervising is because you have to make sure you observe the child. Do you understand? You cannot want to be a soldier if you are not medically okay. You understand? And you cannot want to be a carpenter or a masoner if you're not medically okay, and you'll be under the sun all the time. So these are some of the realities you need to put to the people you are teaching. So the support here could also be finance, because whatever an entrepreneur want to do, it will incur money. So if they don't have the financial support, it becomes very tough for them to succeed in whatever they want to do. So they need moral support, they need psychological support, they need financial support, and so on and so on. The list goes on. But like I said, love and support here and care is key. If they feel loved, they are always motivated internally, and they can go to any level. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think every parent out there, or let's say anybody that's watching this right now, you should know that like your kids, especially if you are a parent, need that support and that love from you. The reason why some would hardly go far, it's because of the people they are with. If you have a supportive, like if you have a supportive family or you're from a supportive family, you tend to see the difference between someone that is not that really showed love and someone that is being like loved and cared for and supported. They're different because once you love your support, you have that, you motivate yourself. You know that yes, I have to do this for my people. They love me and I cannot let them down. So you would just do anything possible for you to make them proud, you as a student. So Hassan, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate. So, how can educators, or let's say trainers, better prepare students for leadership and employment opportunities?
Thank you so much. Leadership is a journey. It is a very difficult task. So educators, they have a key role to play there. Like I always believe, leadership is not all about being on top there. A good leader always walks side by side with the people they lead. So that is what I believe. And leadership also is about producing more leaders for the society. And leadership is also knowing the way, walking the way, and not only walking the way. You have to show the people the way. So that when you are not there, the people you have shown the way will be able to walk the way. Already they know the way. And they will be able to show the way to the other people coming. So that is what I believe leadership is. And as educators, one thing we need to inculcate into the younger generation that are coming is that um, though sometimes we have designated leaders that learn by themselves, that is, if you lost your parent, and let's say your dad is not there to guide you, and then you are living in a single parent family, perhaps the mother is weak, all the things you learn through being the leader of the family is through yourself. It becomes very much difficult. But now, if you are fortunate to be under a teacher, the teacher should be able to inculcate loyalty, truthfulness, commitment. These are key. Ethics, morals, because this is what makes a good leader. Honesty, if you are not honest, the office or your position as a leader cannot function because there will be no trust between you and the subjects. If there is no ethics, you have no regards for anyone. And it means the office will not function because offices are based or built on ethics and morals. That is why any office you go to, They will tell you the etiquette of this office is this. That is the rules and regulations. This is what we accept here. This is what we don't accept here. So you have to conform yourself to those ethics. Yeah. So that is very important. That is why, as educators, you should not only serve as a teacher. You should be a parent. You should be a guidance. You should be a counselor. You should be a lawyer. You should be a judge. You should be everything for that particular child. And if you I repeat again, if you want to produce good leaders, you yourself should be a role model. The way you talk, the way you behave, the way you implement the policies, your consistency, these are key. The way you dress is key in front of your kids. What you say is very important, very, very, very important to them because you are shaping them for something. So if you shape them in the wrong way, remember, learning is not only what is said to you, but also is what is observed by you. So these are key aspects that I want educators to be very mindful that anywhere they are, children are watching them and they are taking them, some open role models, some secret role models. They look at you, they don't tell you, but they have seen you as a role model already. So we have to be very careful as to what we say and what we do. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm sure anybody, even if you're not an educator, for example, but as long as you were ahead of, let's say, certain group of people, you would know like these are things that are essential to you as an individual. So a follow-up question to that: how, like educators, how can they contribute to youth employability?
Thank you so much. They can contribute to youth employability. First, um, you have to be truthful because sometimes you yourself will see other students and you will know this particular student is not too gifted when it comes to academics, but they are incredibly gifted in a specific area. You have to encourage them in some of those areas, but equally encourage them to take up academics seriously. For example, those who are good in athletics, we have seen them. If you look at right now in the Gambia, we've produced the likes of Gina Bass, we've produced the likes of Adama Jame, Ibrahima Kamara, and others, a lot more. So you can use some of those people to inspire the younger people coming. Now, when it comes to football too, we have seen people with great skills when it comes to football, but academically they are not good. It doesn't necessarily mean that you discourage them from coming to school, but you encourage them towards what their passion lies in. And that is football. You talk to them about the great footballers and equally narrow it down to your own country. We have great footballers like Yankuba Minte, Musa Baro and others, Omar Oje, Omar Koli and others. The list goes on. So you can encourage them. And equally, don't only stop there. Advise them on what to do and how to do it and when to do it, what not to do, and the list goes on. These are very important. Also, encourage them into entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship is what keeps the society moving. Entrepreneurship is very important. If we have many entrepreneurs, we will have many people producing. We have many youths that are productive as well. It means the society will be free from theft, will be free from crimes, unnecessary crimes, because everyone is busy producing something. So that is very important.
Thank you so much. I think entrepreneurship, I don't think it actually has, let's say, a maximum or let's say a certain age. At what age you are, if you are able to do something for yourself, if you're able to acquire a knowledge, then or a skill, because I know education is needed in everything, even if it's skills, you need some, let's say at certain point you need a knowledge to go about that. So it's really, really important. Entrepreneurship, I mean, you be your own boss. You are at your own service. Whatever you do, it's coming back to you, you as the owner or the boss. So it's really, really important. If you know you're not good at this area, I think it's good for you to venture into something else that you're good at. For example, skills. We have a lot of skills out there that you can do as an individual, as a student, or even as an educator yourself, right? So that will bring us to the next question, actually, which is about like how can institutions or the government actually introduce what kind of, let's say, what can they do or what kind of programs can they introduce in this country or even beyond to reduce unemployment rate?
Okay, thank you so much. I think that is a very important question. Government could do um, NGOs could, parastatals could, well-wishers could. But I'm happy that right now, especially the educational sector, is empowering the TVET centers, that is the technical and vocational centers, that are very key. Because if you want to target the youths, especially in education, you don't only focus on the academics aspect of it. The skill aspect of it too is very important. And that I am very much happy that the government and the MOPSI, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, and MOHAS, Ministry of Higher Education, they are trying a lot to make sure we have more TVET centers now, and more youths will be sent to those centers, and then they will be trained on skills. When they are trained on skills, one key important thing that too, I don't know whether it will happen or is happening, is to equally help them to set themselves. What I mean by set themselves is, most of them are from poor backgrounds. Now they will have a skill, but the tools to operate that skills might not be available. So if you train somebody, you want the individual to be productive, even if it has to be a loan. You can loan the individual through buying or purchasing the materials he or she need to operate that particular skill. And then when that happens, they'll be productive. And then they can be paying on installment. They can be grants for that. There can be grants for that. So also parastatals and well-wishers could also be very instrumental here. If you see a youth that is trying a lot in the community, but you know he is not well off, you can intervene, provided the individual is committed and ready to take up a skill and he or she is already into it. For example, let's say tailoring, the machines are very expensive. Yeah, very expensive. So somebody does tailoring, at the end of the day, graduate, very good tailor, but at the end of the day, no machines for him to or her to operate on. So you are somebody who is concerned, and you can easily help the individual, even if it has to be through credit. You can loan the individual, get the materials for him or her, and then the individual pay in advance on installment. That is possible. So I'm happy that the government and our education system are now bringing more attention to the TVET centers. That is really going to help the youth to grow. It is going to help them a lot to grow. But equally, they should not stop there. They should give them more and more and more room. They should create more conducive environment for them to be part of decision making. Youths need to be involved. In fact, they should create room for youths to participate in politics. That is also another key aspect of development that we need as a country. Many of the youths run away from politics, and politics is part of us. Whether you run away, you don't run away, whether you vote or you don't vote, they will still rule you. Somebody has to be your president. Somebody has to be your leader. Somebody has to lead the way and you follow. So it's better you choose somebody that you want. Your voice counts, and your voice is your vote. So we have to encourage the youth to take part in politics of the country, politics of the community, politics of their region. It's very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hassan Bojang. That was really nice. So, finance, you talked about that as well. So, I believe it's not everything, as they say, but it also is needed in everything that we do, especially when you want to help other people, let's say as an institution or the government. Let's say teaching people skills or them being like having the knowledge to create something, but then they are not being supported financially. It could be, let's say, it could create hindrance to their success as well, because they would want to, further try to get something they would want to support, in their own country. But then if they are not financially supported, then they will find it very difficult, especially in this economy, So I think it's important for the government and other institutions and also well-wishers, as we said, to come up and then try to see people that are committed, that are ready to serve, and that are ready to, help their family. And because we know some of them are, their background are not that really, really strong, so they need support. So yeah, that's really, really, really important. So this will bring us to the last and final question, which is like, what advice would you give to young people out there that are watching you, the youths, could be youth advocates, could be activists, that are out there, including students as well, that want to pursue a career, but kind of not ready, or they are influenced by peers that, this kind of thing, I don't think it's okay for you, or it will be rather very hard. Why not you do something that is way easier? Because at some point, I remember even at uni, people will try to continuously defer or try to divert to other schools because they believe this is not for me. I don't think I can do this. This is too much. Let's say 2 or 3 semesters, like they're like, this is too much for me, and they will just be discouraged. Why not I go do what my friend is doing? It's education. Maybe somehow it's simple. So, what advice do you have for them, for people that are kind of discouraged or they're not fully prepared to face the world?
Thank you so much. My advice to you is take charge of your own life. It's very important. That is why I said youth empowerment at the initial stage is the process of empowering the younger generation to take charge of their life. Why should they take charge of their life? So that they can improve their life. They can take their life to a dimension or to a destination they wish to. So that is very important. Like I said here, from experience, many of the students will decide to deviate from their study, like you said, or many students will decide to, take up a field simply because they are friends. So you don't have to be like that. Please take charge of your life, decide for yourself. You know what you're interested in, what makes you happy. Deep down inside of you, you know what you want to be. Do not allow anyone to influence what you cannot do, and at the end of the day, you will regret it. This is why you see sudden shifts just like that. You are studying medicine, you feel like, okay, medicine is difficult, I just want to switch. Ask yourself a question. Was that even the initial profession you wanted to study? Yeah, so I think that speaks volume. So my advice, second advice is, we have to be committed to ourselves. We have to be truthful as youths, and let us try and commit to the development of the society. And I think that is very important. The ethics of our homes, the ethics of the communities, the ethics of our cultures. Let us try and value that, because is there is a famous saying, "Tea without sugar." You know what it is, right? So a human being without ethics, no matter how knowledgeable you are not respected. Let us try and inculcate ethics and morals in us. That is very important. It's extremely important as youths that are growing up. You see, when you have these ethics and morals I'm talking about, I always emphasize this. The elders will have the zeal or the confidence to talk to you, to approach you. Your colleagues will have that courage to come close to you and share with you. But if you are not, it's always the opposite way. So finally, I just want you not to relent. If you cannot take up education, take up a skill. That is very important. If you cannot take up education, take up a skill. But do not be somebody who is dependent on people. At the end of the day, that will never last. You'll be a laughing stock in the community. That is very important. And finally, thank you once again for having me here. And I really appreciate this because I always feel happy when I talk about the youths. And I believe this discussion will help some to improve. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hassan. I mean, it's really a pleasure having him here. Despite the schedule, he still, try to come here and then have this show because it's supposed to have been in the morning, but then due to, stuff, we couldn't have it in the morning, and that's why we had it this time. And he's kind of busy, but he still make sure he came. Thank you so much, Alassane, and I really appreciate. So thank you so much, viewers, and we hope that you've learned one or two things from what he has said so far and inculcated in your life, and promise you will not fail. So thank you so much, and 2 week come again your way. Next week, Wednesday, inshallah, at 10 a.m. in the morning here in Banjulindi with me, your host, Ramatoulie Jatta. Thank you.
Welcome to GMEB TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. Open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type GMEB TV. channel